What's up, everybody? This is Ben with another crypto update here, and I think a very important one. I'll try to keep this as short as I can, but I do think it's worth spending a little bit of time to point out a couple things and what I think is the most important indicator to be watching right now with Bitcoin. Excuse my voice, I'm talking a little deep. I have kind of a cold right now. I'm also hunkered down here in Florida, getting ready for a hurricane. But still, wanted to do this to show you guys something that I was watching, and that is the 50 MA on the daily. So you can easily add this to your charts if you want. You could just add the indicator, change the time to 50, and then you will have a 50 MA on your chart, and it's going to really give you an indication of where we're going to be maybe in the next few days. And there's a couple reasons for that, but let's just go over what we have here. The top of our range still the same, 42K. Bottom of our range is still the same, around 28,950, whatever, somewhere in that area, 29,000. And Bitcoin can play anywhere in this area, and I say we're still fine. I have this triangle drawn in here. You can ignore that if you want. I just did it for my own reasoning. It does seem to be playing out. We're hitting it a lot, and I also did a short-term downtrend line here just to see how it played out as well. And it has been hitting it quite often and been rejected off of it. So I don't know if we're gonna, kind of really squeeze down in here, or if we're just gonna kind of work through it, and then this downtrend didn't mean much at all. So I'm watching for that. But the 50 MA, right? We talked about it earlier. I did a quick video on Twitter to show you guys a couple of options, and that is that one, that it just keeps on coming down, and it just pushes price down into here, right, and probably sends Bitcoin down. The other option is that the price can somehow trend through here and give this 50 enough time to try to flatten out, right? That's going to give Bitcoin a much easier attempt to break it. And that's just logic. I mean, you see how aggressive this line is. It would take some massive thing, like Elon tweeting that, you can save $10,000 on your Tesla if you buy with Bitcoin, right? That comes out, and then, yeah, maybe we get this massive candle and it just pushes through. It doesn't even matter. But, I mean, this is an aggressive line down here, and it's going to take some big volume to push it through. Notice our volume has still been going down throughout the days. Notice our RSI, which is still unable to break its downtrend since the bull market even started. We could draw this line back, to there even. And so once we hit this high, multiple attempts to break back through, and every time it's been rejected all the way down. So the 50 MA pushing down, the Bollinger Bands. Look how tight they are. I mean, they're getting tight. They haven't been that tight. Let me see some. I was like measuring around a few minutes ago, and they haven't been that tight since we were like down here. I mean, they're tighter here, but all the way through this whole run, they have not been as tight as they are right now. So all that means is that a move is coming. Everybody knows it. Which way? Nobody knows. So that's the thing. The other thing I want to point out, which I think is just as important, besides the 50 on the daily, let me kind of draw this again so you guys can see it. Actually, I'll do it later. I want you to go to the weekly chart. Look at the weekly chart. Let's look at the 50 MA again. Same MA, 50, but this time it's holding as support. And the 50 on the weekly is notorious for being a very strong support holder. It does its job very well. This giant move up right here in Bitcoin put a lot of space between the 50 and the price action on the weekly chart. So one of two things has to happen. The 50 just keeps going up until it meets with the price action, which did not happen, or the price comes down to meet with something like the 50 MA on the weekly. and that's what happened, right? But it held. So, you know, we held, we held, we held 3 different times right here. And so here's what we have. On the weekly, we have the 50 MA creeping up like this to the price action. On the daily, we have the 50 MA creeping down like this. Hopefully starting to flatten out, if you can see where I'm going with this. So this yellow line is the 50 MA on the weekly pushing up. This yellow line is the 50 MA on the daily pushing down. We also have this mid-range resistance we have not been able to break through in a couple of weeks here. On top of that, the Bollinger Bands are getting very tight. I mean, a move is imminent at this point. It's so tight from both directions. I really don't know. I really don't know which way it's going to go. I don't think anybody does. It's been very flat for weeks. But when all of these converge like they're doing now, we're getting a major push from the bottom on a high time frame like the weekly, and we're getting a major push from the top on a pretty high time frame like the daily, then I mean, we have an actual squeeze happening here, and I don't know what happens at the end, but you know, something's going to happen here. And it could honestly happen within any of these days in here. But that's what I wanted to point out to you guys. The 50 is the most important thing, I think, to watch right now, both on the daily and the weekly. It's a really kind of unique situation where the 50 on the daily is pushing down and the 50 on the weekly is pushing up, and giving us a really tight squeeze here. Then you throw everything else in the mix with this middle resistance, our full range, the RSI issue we have, as well as the volume issue we have coming down, right? So place your bets, everybody, and we'll see what happens. You guys probably won't hear from me. I might be without power even once the storm hits, but it's not a big deal. It's going to be like Category 1 maybe. That's like a normal storm for us here down in Florida. So, yeah, that's it. Have a good day. Place the 50s. If you don't have them, put them on your charts. Watch them, because I really think that's what's going to determine what happens here. And keep an eye on the daily and the weeklies. And I think that will give you a lot of information. So if you like what you hear, like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And share the stuff on Twitter as well. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.